Hi everyone, welcome back to GreyBeard Media and Urbex. We are at Anfield, just outside the SKD stand. We're going to break it all down about the expansion possibilities, the talks that have been happening on 3 different occasions. The main talks were well over a year ago now. Talks of building homes over Pave Road and Utting Avenue car park, and then if there is an overflow after Skerries residents, if they agreed to move, only if they agreed with the compensation packages thrown in. Square was also brought up in the second meetings, possibly using as extra space for Wylva residents, because they were hoping there would be enough space over Pave Road for the row of Skerries, and then part of Wylva too, and then Anfield Square for the rest of Wylva. And then the silence, a massive silence, nothing since, for months and months and months. And then we found out quite recently, about more talks that were happening, but this time Oakfield Road and the park behind. Yet why the silence on the most important thing of all, Utting Avenue, the train station? That has to be the priority, surely. So in this video we go through all of it, and why the silence of the main thing that needs to happen first for this expansion to really happen. So in the intro, meet me back after all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And welcome back everyone. Yeah, are we at risk of getting left behind when all our main rivals are planning, building, expanding? I do like the fact that Liverpool have had talks, but that's all it's been, isn't it? Talks. It's a long way to go yet, and we need the community of Skerries and Wylva on board. But it all has to be handled correctly, in a proper manner. It's okay talking to LCC or government officials, the Metro and Mayor. At the end of the day, remember, these are families' homes. We're going to visit each area, talk about everything that's gone on, and then we're going to go to Utting Avenue and can we answer the main question of all: why the silence on the most important part of it all, the train station. As soon as we hit 65,000 capacity, got to have one. At the end of the day, whether it's Skerries Road, Wylva Road, LIC have to tread very careful. Can't have any repeats of the main stand fiasco. I think compensation packages, £50,000 was it? Brand new spanking new houses. That's one thing, that's really good. But some people may not want to leave, and that's up to them. It's not up to LCC to pressure anybody. This is a community at the end of the day. Their opinions matter. That's why I think, yeah, I'm glad we're taking our time, but I don't have any problem with the planning. Carry on planning, carry on doing things properly, talking to people. I don't even know if they have spoken to anybody in these streets about this, so why speak to LCC about building homes in this areas around Anfield, whether it's either over Pave Road or Oakfield Road. But yeah, we're going to visit all these areas by drone and some in person. Without further ado, we just walk Skerries. I guess there'll be more talks in the future. Let's get the drone up. Welcome back everyone, we are airborne over Anfield on a match day. But we're here because of the recent talks and the talks that happened well. The SKD stand expansions keeps raising its head, doesn't it? This will be my final video for a while until more concrete happenings happen. And then that shot right there, you got the SKD stand, Skerries Road and Wylva. And back in October, was it? These meetings with Liverpool Football Club, the government officials, LCC. You remember watching my train video? Very praiseful of it, and he let me know about these meetings, and we found out about possible locations around the area of Anfield for maybe opening up possible future expansions like the SKD stand. Obviously the main stand looks fantastic, so does Anfield Road stand. The future of the ground is half done. What about the other future? You can tell the difference, can't you? At the end of the day, there's no pressure on any family. I will get that out right now. No pressure at all from the club or anybody. I do have the statement still I was given. Like I said, everyone has to be on board, or what's the point in doing it? You know, we can't have the situation that happened behind the main stand, where one house remained. You know, the CPO thing over a certain percentage. If they agree, the compensation packages on the table, and the brand new spanking new houses to revitalise the area around Anfield, but at the same time planning a way to expand the ground further. I know a lot of you say we should have upped sticks and built somewhere else. I don't agree there. This is our fantastic home of Anfield Stadium. Beautiful ground, steeped in glorious history. I have no problem with LFC talking. They just need to do things properly for the residents behind, because this is their homes and have been for decades. We all know about the company in the Isle of Wight buying up homes when they come available, and not a single house or family has been pressured, and they won't be. This video is pretty much of just what we've learned from talkings and meetings. Nothing might still happen for decades. But what we do know of is the meetings and talks held over the land, over Pave Road, the car parking space over there. We will go there first. Then we will move on Anfield Square. Then we will move on Oakfield Road and the park behind. Then we will end the video on the part that gets me the most. Utting Avenue. That has to happen first, but that has had the biggest silence of all. Why has there been talks of building homes in certain areas around this ground? Yet since that story broke, blocked the homes going on the land by the rail track there where the Clarence Hotel once stood. Why has there been silence ever since? Yet murmurings of talk about locations to build homes on leaked. That is the biggest question I need to ask in this video. So without further ado, let's go to the first location. The first round of talks. We head off towards Priory Road. We fly over Stanley Park car park. As you can see, it's fully in use today with it being match day. This is the Utting Avenue car park. And those first rounds of talks, I believe Steve support the region. The plans I got given was housing to be built around the edge of this area. Rows of houses, gardens at the back, facing Utting Avenue, facing the GreyBeard there, also facing Priory Road. And then the houses were supposed to be offered to the residents of Skerries. Brand new, spanking new homes. £50,000 compensation packages. But would all the Skerries fit there, and maybe part of Wylva too? Not both streets, I don't believe, would fit. So what was mentioned, Anfield Square was mentioned, possible location, the house, the rest of the Wylva residents. So we'll fly over towards there now. Now there's been so many plans, so many options for Anfield Square. From short-term goals, solutions like stalls, the community centre, to more houses. I personally, when I did that video of Anfield Square a while ago, my choice was a community centre. Preferably I'd love the houses to go back there, because you all know I want future expansions of this ground, which are probably most likely still going to be years or decades away. I'm going to switch.
Obstacle sensing unavailable. Fly with caution.
I'm going to switch to faster speed. Anfield Square is coming into shot. The first road there is Baltic Street, I believe. I forget what the second row was. So this was Anfield Square, where families used to thrive, kids used to play, and now it remains empty for 10 years or so. Meet me down there all. Let's walk up Baltic Street, that used to be an active street. So yeah, we've just briefly for this part, we've walking along Anfield Square. I believe this is Baltic Street. Still the original lights there. But yeah, this was mentioned in the second talks. I believe the Metro Nexus at the time, when the second talks took place between LFC officials, LCC, and the talks were follow on from the Utting Avenue car park situation, where they were going to build houses around that area, offer them to Skerries residents and also Wylva, and then if there was any spaces left that wouldn't fit there, Anfield Square was brought up as a preferred location to build homes on again. Obviously LCC now have full control of Anfield Square, but now we've spoken about the Utting Avenue car park situation and Anfield Square, nothing has ever been talked about now for like 8 or 9 months. Now, the dates when these talks happened, the first one's around October. I found out through my contacts who worked for the council, still does. He filled me on all the information that was going on, all the talks, the meetings between all the parties and the rail team. And he told me about all the meetings, the talks that went on through phone, through meetings. But the reason why now I'm closing the book on Utting Avenue, and I don't think there'll be any more videos on that after this, because all the talks have ceased on that area. But LFC were involved once again in meetings, not meetings, phone calls with LCC over Oakfield Road land, the park behind as well, and those derelict homes. So when we get back up in the air with the drone, we'll head over to that side, assess the situation, what went on with talks, and building homes, taking down the old ones as well at the same time. No, and demolishing those homes and building new ones in the place and all over the park. And we'll talk more in depth when we get there. Let's get back in the air with the drone. It's a shame Baltic Street and the street over there had to disappear to a wasteland of over a decade. Could their homes return to this area in the future? Who knows? Welcome back everyone, back in the air. As you can see on the ground there, it looks bigger than it actually is, and now you're looking at it by drone, it looks smaller. Easily would have fit the rest of the Wylva residents there, but that is gone now. None of that has been talked about ever since, either, for 7 months roughly, if that. The silence is golden. With now LCC have full control, and the plans of a community centre do seem to be the favourite option. Either way, next year possibly is the year something will finally be done. Anfield Square. I know I did that video recently of Anfield Square. The other options that came to light. It's time to head over to Oakfield Road and the park behind. I'm going to stay as high as I can so I don't lose signal, and to keep line of sight of the drone. I'm standing back in Stanley Park, quite back, so I can keep an eye on the drone. As we see the old park there, used to be the five-side football pitch years ago. We'll talk about more of it when we're down there on the ground. See that row of horrible looking houses there. We did that video, didn't we? The history of these houses, quite popular. Now this apparently was recently talked about. It's supposed to be very hush-hush. None of us are supposed to know about it. The talks between Liverpool Football Club and LCC, possibly about LFC acquiring these homes, then possibly having them knocked down. We'll talk about more of that on the ground. Meet me down now all. Let's go to Oakfield Road and the park behind. So yeah, we're just walking around to the park area. Like I said in the previous video, when I did the video, it used to be a five-side football pitch. Now Liverpool Football Club are interested in this plot of land and row houses on Oakfield Road, and the latest plans was to demolish every single one, build brand new homes all the way around this park and offered them to the residents of the Skerries. Only Skerries residents were mentioned. Now, I did question in the previous video, would this be a big enough area? I don't believe so. Maybe one row max. Sorry about that cut there. Did you hear that voice? Are you a local vlogger? Yeah, I am. That was a local councillor of this area. Some breaking news for you. So yeah, that was the talks. Is it really going to materialise? I do have my doubts about it, because this is not a big enough area really, even for one row of Skerries. I don't believe it's a big enough area, but I do believe that houses should be rescued in some way, whether demolished and built new homes. At the end of the day, this parkland will never be a park again. It's very uneven. There's a lot of rubble underneath the ground as well, so I think we'll get back in the air, and I think it's time to move on to Utting Avenue. The train station that hasn't been talked about since the very first meetings between Steve, the Metro Mayor and his rail team, LCC and LFC. Why all the silence? The talks, building homes in these areas have continued. Why? Let's get back in the air. Again, the area on the ground looks bigger than it actually is, doesn't it? It looks bigger down there than here. He wouldn't even fit, I don't believe. Maybe one row. Scary as that is, it wouldn't be enough for an expansion, would it? So there's a lot to talk about in this video. Why has there been talks? Don't get me wrong, it's just been talks. Nothing might not happen still for years. I do believe these houses are on the market. Can Liverpool Football Club buy them? That was the talks within the last couple of months, apparently. So I'm going to fly towards Stanley Park. So we went into all the information. Would the compensation packages still be on the table as a deal? As a brand new spanking new home? I don't believe it's going to happen there over Pave Road now. Why would it be silenced for 7 months? I'm not convinced anything will happen Oakfield Road either. It's just not big enough for me. But do you know what gets me the most about this video? The rail team over Utting Avenue train station, with LFC being involved in it, and my government official friend, Councillor. Yet there's been silence since. Why? Conversations about building homes there and Oakfield Road, but nothing on Utting Avenue. It's time to go to Utting Avenue. We'll go over the details drawn up about the station and everything, even the price, everything, even the shuttle services, everything was brought up in the meetings. Let's go there. Meet me at Utting Avenue, where the Clarence Hotel once stood. You zoom in there, you can just see the the arch going over the road of Utting Avenue. That's where the rail track is. Meet me there all. So we arrived at the final destination, the train line closest to Liverpool Football Club's Anfield Stadium. The first talks that happened were actually about Utting Avenue and the proposed train station. The news about 8 months ago, was it, when I finally got the information leaked to me, and then suddenly touching back the meetings between the parties over the area over Priory Road, and then the houses situation, possible plans, and yet silence on that too until recently over at the Oakfield Road situation. So why has there been silence ever since and nothing talked about? Because without this, without trains to the closest area near to Anfield, without that station at Utting Avenue where the Clarence would stood, no expansion is going to happen anytime soon. None. No SKD, no SKD stand expansion, no COP expansion. You've got to have a train station if you hit 65,000 capacity. So why the talks? Do you all know something we don't? So this is my final video for now until more concrete information comes to light or hand. I'll carry on being in contact with my government official friend who works for the council. I did actually meet another councillor today, the local councillor to Anfield. And you know where I met her? I met her in the park behind that derelict row of houses. There's plans for those houses, and there's plans for Anfield Square. The Anfield Square plans, I'll find out today, are going ahead, and I will tell you about them in another video. It's been decided what's going on Anfield Square, and I'll let you know very soon in another video. Without further ado, it's Utting Avenue. Let's get the drone up for the final time, at least until more information comes to light. Welcome back everyone, we are airborne, going along with a train along the line to Utting Avenue and the proposed land for the station that has fell silent yet again. Anfield into shots. There's a distance, 0.7 mile. The first talks happened over this bit of land between Steve, his rail team, LCC, LFC. £120 million train station. Platforms, also tunnelling, not round here though, the tunnelling, that was to do with the freight, well, and getting them to cross lines, especially on match days. The 120 million was drawn up. The homes was blocked from going here. Nothing's gone here since. This has been empty and derelict land now for 20 years. Still nothing, it's been in the echo. I got leaked the story myself. because it was the closest line to Anfield Stadium. Now, if there was any future expansions, we went to over 65,000 capacity. What are we on now? 61,000 capacity? 4 more thousand. The train station would have to be needed. This is the closest point to the stadium. It was even going into detail of a shuttle service from this station, if it ever happened, to go up Utting Avenue up onto Arkles Lane, is it? Like a loop service going all the way around and dropping fans to the stadium, coming back. Most of you probably would have walked it, to be fair. I walked here, I'll walk back in a minute. Obviously for the elderly fans and the ones in wheelchairs, you probably need a shuttle service, and that was actually talked about also. So why has there been talks of housing possibly going over Pave Road? Why has there been talks over Oakfield Road? Yet this, where the station was talked about the most, hasn't been spoken about since. No more meetings, nothing. Nothing from the Metro Mayor, nothing from the council, nothing. So why was he even bothered drawing up a price for a possible station, possible tunnelling, platforms? Why did he even bother blocking that house going there? Was it for like old people or for homes? Why did he even bother? The prime location going to waste for a train station. And this would push Liverpool onto the next level. Our rivals are building. Our rivals are getting bigger. Not just across the United Kingdom, but across Europe as well. We are standing still right now. There's LCC, LFC. Do they all know something we don't? I don't have any more information now for you until something else comes to light, if it ever does. The wait will go on. You could be waiting decades still. At the end of the day, like I said at the start of the video, the community and people's homes matter the most. By all means, talk. Come together, talk. LCC, LFC, families, talk. There's no harm in that. All needs doing in the right, correct, full manner. This is Anfield. This is Utting Avenue. Unfortunately, the silence goes on. I've been GreyBeard Media since I did the train videos and the government official contacted me. I brought you hot off the press news that none of us were supposed to even know about. And yet we're still on a rail line to nowhere, aren't we? Unfortunately. If I do get to learn any more information, or I will bring it to you, but I fear that is it for now. But actually quite a long time. Talks will be talks. Talks can be very cheap. Will we ever get action around Anfield again? Will we ever get another expansion at the stadium again? It's still all up in the sky, unfortunately.